All right. Well, welcome to our first season leaders change meeting. We're going to do this every couple weeks on LinkedIn. It's a live video, leadership training video for everybody that's interested. We're really looking forward to growing this. If you are on LinkedIn and you want to join one of these groups, I have two groups right now. One is for new managers, and one is also for seasoned managers. So you can join either one of those. Obviously, the new one is meets on a different time. That's on Tuesdays for new leaders and new managers, and then the one today on Thursdays is for seasoned managers, seasoned leaders, people that have been in leadership a little bit longer, covering two different topics. The one we covered on Tuesday was one-on-one meetings with new managers. And today we're going to talk about culture, specifically culture levers that stick. And so just to jump in the agenda today, again, welcome. If you're able to join me live for any of these, they are on 12 o'clock noon Pacific time if you're able to join me. So it's going to be up to an hour long, a teaching point. And today, obviously, we talked about culture, a discussion time. If you have anything, topics you want to talk about, AMA, and then as well as takeaways and a challenge as we face another week next week coming up. So let's jump into also the screen will be on here as well. What's one leadership win or challenge this week? We'll talk about this every time. So I'd encourage you, if you're watching this video live or if you're actually thinking about it afterwards, if you're watching the replay, consider what's one leadership win that you've had this past week and take time to reflect on that. Like what did you take time to celebrate? I think that's the key here for this time is to slow down, grow together and learn and also celebrate. And so what's one leadership win that you had this past week? And then what's one challenge this week? Again, we'd love to hear some of you sharing those. So share those in the comments. What's a win you've had? And then what's a challenge or any advice or things you like to share from the win or from the challenge that you faced? Yeah, I think for me, I'll share one leadership win this past week was just being able to work through some of the scheduling challenges that I've had, how much time to spend on each topic with people. And so what do some of those meetings look like? It's easy to schedule times and to get through it and try to find that balance between I care about you and I need your information as well. And so I think it was a win. I think I was able to work on a better structure for that. And I think that was also the same challenge was working through that. So anyway, leave your comments if that's you. We're going to jump into the topic today, which is culture levers that stick. I'm going to cover three key points each time. And so, we're going to talk about culture. And I think always let's define what I mean by culture. When I'm thinking of culture, I'm thinking culture is the shared set of values, beliefs, and behaviors that guide how people in organization think, interact, and make decisions. So culture is a shared set of values, beliefs, and behaviors that guide people in an organization. It's how they think, interact, and make decisions. And it's not necessarily written in a handbook. I mean, you can have a statement on a wall, our culture is this, and we're going to talk about that. But it's really the way we do things around here. If you ask somebody, like, how do you do things? That's really the culture. And it's how it shows up in daily habits, conversations, and priorities, right? How we prioritize things, how we daily live things out. And so we're going to talk about what that actually means. So the first one there is culture is built on habits, not on posters. You can have it on a poster, and that's fine. I think that's not a bad thing. But if it's just a poster, it really doesn't mean anything, right? We've had so many culture or mission statements actually people put up, and it's like, well, does that actually mean anything? And so I would say it's a little bit different. So posters or slogans or mission statements have little power unless they're backed up by habits. And so think about that. What are habits that are speaking into the culture? Habits like maybe starting a meeting on time or following through on commitments or recognizing contributions. That sends stronger messages than any slogan is going to. And so the opposite, I think, would be true if you thought about it. What is your culture? What do you want to be known for as a leader? I think I get the two mixed up. Idiom or idiom that you want to be known for. What do you want to be known for as a person? So, what are all you always late to meetings? Are you in this example? Do you follow through on commitments or do you not follow through? So your personal culture that you're building is going to influence the culture around you at the company or the organization you lead, whether it's a for-profit or nonprofit. So I think it's really important to ask that question. Is the culture I'm leading built on habits or is it built on a poster? Because if it's built on habits that are good, I actually believe in it and I'm going to do it and I'm going to live it out more and more. If it's a poster that I inherited, I don't have ownership in it. And so the key here is ownership. And so I just encourage you to consider that. What is your personal culture that you're building? What do you want to be known for? And then in line with that, what are the ways that you live that out? And that's being communicated. And then do the two of those come together? Posters are not bad, but is it a way that you're living it out? And the second one is leaders model more than they message. And we've all been there where a leader says things and they just don't do it. Employees really take cues from, what their leaders do, not just what they say. We've all talked about that. Lip service versus action. If a leader preaches work-life balance, for example, so I've done this. I'm guilty of this. I'll just say I'm guilty before I even start. So if I've been guilty of this, where you have work-life balance, I tell my employees, I really want you to have a good work-life balance. So we want to do these things. I'm not going to list them out, but we want to do these things. But I don't model that, or I send emails at midnight regularly, or I am always on as the message. Well, I'm kind of negating the message that I'm sending out there. So we want to make sure we're lining up that we model the message. Modeling is really, desired behaviors like curiosity, listening, accountability. Those things can create permission and expectation from others to do the same. So we want to model the message together. And then the third one is rituals and stories reinforce values. So if it's just lip service without action, we talked about that. That's true. But rituals, rituals like um, things that we can do on a regular basis, like ending the week with wins. If that's a ritual, so to speak, that you do, that every Friday there's an email that's going to go out, or just a quick roundup, a group meeting with everybody. And it's, hey, I just want to celebrate. These are the two wins that we had this week as a company. And here's the individual that helped us get there. Whatever that is, celebrating milestones or starting with a gratitude round in your rhythm, whatever it is, or in your meeting. It's got to be real. If you watched any of my videos, this is all bogus if it's not real. You, you can't make this, you can make it up, but it won't do anything. If you want it to be lived out, you actually have to do it. The other part is to tell stories about how the organization overcame a challenge, or how a customer was served well, or how a team member lived out values. Keep the culture alive and memorable. Because without rituals and without stories, values feel very abstract. With them, they become tangible and repeatable. People are going to repeat and remember your stories and your actions way more than they're going to remember you and I's phrases that we throw out, or things that we say, but we don't do. So, again, it's something to keep in mind that we really want to live in reality. We want to live in what am I doing that's modeling the culture that I want people to see and emulate. And so part of this, one of these leadership, this time together is really a chance for you to ask questions. So if people are on, I'm going to check YouTube as well. If people are on, feel free to leave a question. If you have comments, you can do it on LinkedIn as well. But really the idea here is, how do you take these 3 points then and influence your culture this week? How do you live that out? And so let's apply it. One of the questions is, what habit of yours most influences your team's culture? So think of positive or negative. What habit, just one, think of one habit that you're doing of yours most influences your team's culture, whether it is starting meetings on time or starting meetings late. whether whatever it is, you pick what it is. There's obviously we listed a few things earlier that it could be, but what is it that you're doing that influences your team's culture? Because whatever you're doing, if it's positive, people are going to emulate that, or at least they're going to be cognizant of it and it's going to affect them. So if they start their meetings late and you're sitting there waiting for them, they're going to be like, okay, I need to start mine on time as well because my boss is starting theirs on time. So again, if it's a negative habit, maybe it's just talking too much in meetings, just answering questions or taking over. So what happened? Is it if Jonathan talks, oh my gosh, we're going to be here forever because he's going to tell a story and he's going to talk for 10 minutes about unrelated items. We don't want that. And so being self-aware is very important. And another one is what is small ritual reinforces your values weekly? So think of a ritual. If you're not doing one, think of one that is you. So you don't want to be not you. You can be out of your comfort zone, but what is you? What's a ritual that will reinforce this value weekly? And what are you going to do? I'd love to hear. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear, even after this video is live, hear how do you live this out? What's a ritual that you're going to do? I mentioned one at the end of the week, a win for everybody, mentioning that to people, but what is it going to be? So consider that. Again, this is investing in your leadership future. The quicker you and I do these, the faster we grow, the more we grow, the faster our team connects with us, and the more organization can be changed. So I understand everybody's at different levels of leadership. You might be like, I'm an entry level leader. I've been doing entry level leadership for years. You still have influence over those around you, and you can lead up even in those situations to those above you. So I would just encourage you not to look at it that way, but how are you growing and how can you grow others? This would be an AMA. There's nobody on right now, which is fine, but it's our first week. I don't expect anybody to be on. But what leadership, I'm going to ask you to answer this question. What leadership challenge, goal, or topic is on your mind? I know nobody's on right now, but as you watch this video, I would suggest you pause and actually ask this question. What leadership challenge, goal, or topic are you actually thinking about that you want to improve on, or you want to change, or you want to do better? Taking 5 minutes to do that and then process it with somebody would be great, but even just yourself sitting and writing it out, journaling, or however you process will help your mind continue to develop in that area. You will become more naturally aware of challenging goals and topics if you actually take the time to do it. If you don't take the time to do it, you're just going to move on. And the same challenges and problems are going to come up time after time. So I would encourage you to do that. Just for a takeaway this week, culture lives in what you do repeatedly, not what you write on walls. I hope that is the takeaway for you today. Culture is what we do repeatedly, not just what we write on the walls. Challenge for the week, introduce one small ritual, maybe gratitude, win, story, you pick it, whatever it is, in your next team meeting. Find a way to live it out. Try a few things. I will say, if you do something and it doesn't go well, like someone makes a comment afterwards, a smart comment, one person says, man, that was kind of weird, that was corny, or that was whatever they want to say. Let it go. Try it again. Remember, the people that actually care the most usually don't say anything, unfortunately. So take it in, try it again. Now you may have to change it, but don't just stop because one person said, well, what are you thinking? That's a waste of our time. Ignore it. You're a leader, step up and keep on going. Thank you for watching this. I hope as you watch this adds value to you. Our next session is going to be on Tuesday, October 16th. We're going to talk about closing the strategy execution gap. So we talked about culture today. Next, we're going to talk about closing the gap between everybody can have a strategy, but then how do you execute that strategy? So that'll be on, it says Tuesday. Actually, it's going to be on Thursday. I have the wrong date there. That's on Thursday of that week. I think it's Thursday, October 16th at 12. Sorry for the typo there. I'll put that in the show notes. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel already, here's the link. You just go to YouTube, type in Jonathan Hankin. If I can be of any value to you, please reach out, set up a free discovery call. I always do free 30-minute discovery calls with anybody. So please take time to do that. You're worth the time to get 30 minutes of free processing. Also, please hit like and subscribe to the videos if it added value. I hope to see you again next time. Have a great day.